Okay. So, welcome back to the Why Not podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant Brendan Miller. We're doing something a little bit differently today. You can probably already see from all these folks, these aren't service members, these are military brats. But maybe you're not familiar with the term brat. If you are a service member's dependent child, that makes you a brat. But maybe you have, other things that you call them. Anyway, I grew up as a military dependent, and I feel really lucky to talk about the next generation right here. So let's go ahead. We'll start at the far end of the table. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Kinley Coster.
Kinley Costa. Okay, welcome to the show.
Well, I'm Fatima Zara Elbwab.
I'm Eunice Elbwab.
Oh, so you're related.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, similar facial structure, but yeah. I think it's really cool to have a sibling. I had two sisters growing up. We went all over the world together. That was really neat. Let's talk about what do you guys, in your experience, what is it like being a military brat?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, you move
Mm.
around a lot and you have to say goodbye to your friends quite a bit, but not forever. I mean, you see them, you can still talk to them, but other than that, it's fun. It's an opportunity most kids don't get.
Wow, that's a really good attitude to have about it. Like acknowledging that, yeah, it's hard, but like you can still stay connected. When I was a kid, we had to like make sure that we exchanged our addresses beforehand so that we could send letters to each other. And we had email. Like that was possible, but like it was kind of like new at that time. So I feel like you guys are kind of lucky. Um and any other what do you guys think it's like being a military brat?
It's fun because you get to travel a lot.
Mm.
Yeah.
And our parents do most of the work, so we don't really have to think about none of the papers or the packing. We just kind of get to go see the new places.
I I think that is true. My mom and dad did put me to work. They as soon as I was old enough, they were like, make sure that at least your section of the stuff in the house is like packed away. Um, do you feel like you have an opportunity to take on a lot more responsibility? What do you feel like your responsibilities are when you're a military brat?
You have to you have to act kind of more mature than
Mm.
maybe your non-military brat peers. You have to put on a good face for your parents so they look good too.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. My dad, he served 32 years in the Air Force, and he was prior enlisted, but then he was a commander. So at some point, like, yeah, stuff that I did could harm his career, and I had to keep that in mind. Of like, I'm affecting other people's lives. I'm a reflection and extension of my family, right? So, what are some things that you guys do, um, as part of this community? I know you guys are moving all the time and doing stuff. What are some of the activities you get up to as you move into a new community? You can any one of you can take it.
I I babysit around the base. I mean, I like to get to know people
Yeah.
in my new community. Kind of make my mark, say who I am.
I think that's really important because that's a service that you're providing to your community, that you got to be out there for, people going to work and the CDC is not open all the time. And
Expensive.
yeah, so thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. What do you guys get up to whenever you're not, in school?
Volunteering. I guess maybe last year we didn't do it as much because we were new. We didn't know anything. But this year definitely I'd like to look more into volunteering,
Mm.
especially at the youth center with Keystone, which all three of us are in. But yeah.
Oh, what's Keystone?
It's a leadership club. We learn community skills and we kind of work on helping our community. And actually, all three of us, I believe, are going into DC this summer to talk to US Congress and Senate and present an idea that will benefit our team population here in Minot.
Whoa, okay. That's really cool. I got to do like a Future Business Leaders of America thing when I was in high school, and this is way more cool than that. This is, I mean, going to Congress and telling them like you're getting to speak on behalf of a lot of people. What inspired you guys to do this?
Mr. J inspired us all. He's a pretty cool guy.
Mr. J, that's the youth center director, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's how you guys all know each other is through the youth center, through those programs, or
In
through others
school.
and school.
We know each other from when we all lived in Germany,
Yeah.
but we didn't realize that we knew her until we moved here again.
Oh,
And
wow.
then and then we saw her and we're like, "You look familiar." And she's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah."
They
And
only
then,
recognized me because my brother.
yeah,
Oh, right.
it was
Um,
because of the commissary.
Yeah, when he ate all those hot dogs.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I guess we
yeah.
all ended up in the same place, but
Yeah.
Right on. I think that's something that's kind of special about the military community. You know, you do move away and you do have to say goodbye to your friends that you make in one location, but that doesn't mean necessarily that it's the end. You might bump into people that you know from earlier times. I've run into people that I knew from like school and high school, and then they joined the military and we ran into each other again. That's always something. Now, I'm not recommending that you necessarily join the Air Force. This is not like I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. That's what I decided to do. But that's a really cool thing that can happen is being part of this community and getting to see people. So I wanted to ask a little bit about these ideas that you have for the youth of the base and the teen population that you talked about. What are some of these ideas that you want to present?
Well, so far we haven't had our meeting yet.
Mhm.
So that's going to be more in the summer. We continue our program because the youth center is just down the road from all of us. Um, but I think so far, I think we've done a lot of community work. We've done food drives, we've done clothing drives, I think we kind of talked about the topic of introducing more youth programs in town as well.
Mhm.
And I think that's something we've touched top on, but yeah.
yeah, like just creating a community for teens and like having teens meet each other and then make new friends because it can be hard, especially if you're moving and you leave your friends at your old place. So there's a club
Make
like
new
that.
ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are some of our youths of the year, or you've been involved in that, and you specifically are like the North Dakota military youth of the year. What is that like getting to be kind of a representative of all your peers?
I think it's exciting because it's like there's many doors and it's just like one of those doors that opened up. I wasn't originally gonna do it. It was actually a funny story. My dad brought home a packet and I didn't see the packet until like a while later and I was like, "Oh gosh darn, all of these due dates, all of these due dates passed." And then I emailed Mr. J and asked if I could still do it, and he said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Even if like the due dates for some of the parts of the package were like passed, but we made it work, and I think it's really exciting because not only did I get to meet a bunch of new people from Grand Forks and Fargo,
Yeah.
but I'm going to get to meet a bunch of other people.
From the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what we.
Well, you win at the state level, and then you move on to like a regional competition, and they look at all of the work that you've done and
Yeah.
your packages, and I guess they rack and stack who floats to the top.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it is cool.
I started the packet and then I got really busy, so I got like halfway done and then stopped.
I don't blame you because when I was in school, school's a lot. To be fair, school's a lot, and then whenever you're moving around, like I would move every 2, maybe 3 years. And let's talk about like how many PCSs have you guys been a part of?
I think only 3. I lived in Texas, and then that's when my dad got his first orders to California.
Mm,
I lived there for 6 years before moving to Germany, where I met those 2.
yeah.
And then I moved here, and now I'm just waiting till we can leave again.
Yeah. Cool.
We PCS 6 times. I think
We've lived in 7 places. This is
Yeah.
our 7th place. Or this is my 7th place. This is his
my
6th.
6th. Yep.
Yeah. What's the age difference between you guys?
1 year.
1 year?
Yeah.
What they call the Irish twins, I think, whenever you're really close in age. When I was a kid, we moved 8 times. It was a lot. It was a lot of times. Do you like, yeah, there's positives to it, but what are some of the feelings that you experience when you're moving so often?
I'm just excited.
Oh, you're excited.
Yeah. Like, of course, I do feel sometimes sad, and especially as I grow older. It's not like I remember the first few places I lived in because I
Right.
was a little baby. But as we keep on moving and like more and more, like you just grow more connected to that place. And when you move, it's like starting all over again. But I'm excited because I love to travel. So I love seeing new things. Um, I guess Germany was kind of different. I did love Germany and I like really wish I could still be there, but since it's so like not far-fetched, but it's so overseas, I always knew that we would eventually move because it's Germany. That whole place was a vacation. Like
Yeah.
going to school, I would say is a vacation, but yeah, but I think I'm gonna miss Minot. So
Yeah. You're not the first person to say, I think I'm gonna miss Minot. A lot of people. What about you, Yusuf? Are you feeling the same way?
I get excited when we move because we like see new places and stuff. Sad because you make friends and then you leave them
Yeah.
and you have to make new ones. So yeah, that's mostly it.
Yeah. I like I was talking to my son last night because now I've done a multi-generational he's now a military brat, but he was talking about how we're moving to Germany actually here in a couple of months. And he started the conversation like, you're going to leave your desk and you're going to go to a different desk. And I said, yeah. He said, and then someone's going to come to your desk. And I was like, yeah, that's how it works. He's 5 years old. And then he said, I don't want to go somewhere where they don't speak the same way I do. And I said, oh, buddy, that's okay. Like lots of people in Germany speak English. Like, yeah, it's scary, but you'll make new friends and it'll be really nice. And then he said, I want to go to grandma's house. I was like, all right, okay, we're on we're on a different conversation now. But yeah, it's scary when you're a little kid. Like that's a big change. What advice do you give to kids who maybe haven't experienced a lot of those feelings before? And how do you make them feel better about having to, uproot their life?
As a babysitter, I actually had a kid who was terrified of moving. And I think I told him, I was like, it seems scary now, but think of it. You're gonna have a new home, you're gonna have a bigger or smaller bedroom. You're gonna have a new backyard, new friends, a new school, maybe a new playground. It's a whole new thing, and you're gonna love it later. A week, maybe a couple days after, it's gonna be like you never left.
Yeah. What about you guys? What advice do you give to young people who, are coming up and gonna experience the same things you do?
Well, I'd say it's fun. Just stay strong through it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
live in the moment. I guess like for older people would make more sense. Just like I know like letting go of the past might be hard, but living in the moment and enjoying all the little things I think is important. Like don't look too far ahead into the future or else you'll get dizzy, but don't stay in the past or else you'll be disoriented. So being in that moment.
Yeah. I feel like you guys are a lot more compassionate than I remember being. Like, I don't think I had an awareness of my life. We didn't stay in any place too long. We moved overseas and then back to the States. And like, I didn't know that my experience was so different from the average, like, civilian experience. I didn't know how they were living at all. So, what are some of the differences that you've noticed about like your civilian peers that they live in one place their whole lives?
I mean, I definitely, now that all three of us, we go to a school where both these base kids and these people who've lived here their whole lives, we just have different views of
Mm,
how it is here. Like, For me, for example, I think it's too cold. Um, I'm definitely more of a southern person than I will say I am
Yeah.
a north person. But to someone who's lived here their whole life, -5 will be like warm or cool.
Yeah.
I want to just curl up in bed. Or they'll say, this place has so much to do, all I see is dead grass.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you live here longer, you get used to it. You kind of like if you're from civilian peers,
Mm.
you're kind of used to these standards. They're a little more wild and free, kind of like a horse. They're more out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like military kids they're still on the reins. They're still kind of learning.
A little bit more contained. Yeah.
We kind of have that. Our parents were military, and when you're in trouble, you had to stand at attention. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember doing stuff like that.
It's kind of like that. So, or push-ups.
Oh, push-ups.
Mhm.
I mean, there are certain things that I think are really beneficial about growing up in a military environment is that I do feel like I took a lot of discipline from my upbringing into situations where, like in college, maybe my peers didn't have the same level of discipline. And I think, yeah, there's costs and benefits. And I think one of the big benefits is that we learn to be very responsible when we venture out into the world. So I think you've got a leg up on people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially like adaptability, I think is so important.
Mm.
I'd like to I'd like to think that nothing is forever. So when you're in the military, you know how to adapt.
Mm.
And it's not just like adapting to your environment, it's adapting to the people around you.
Mm.
Like, I don't want this to sound like different, but there's so many people that you need to learn how to speak to them because speaking one way with one person won't work with another person.
Right.
And understanding that and adapting to the people around you, your environment, and like just everything, I think is so important. And I think the military is a really good way to learn that.
For sure. Like when we all went from going to base schools, like I'd never gone to a public school.
Mm.
Well, out of the base, like never. I would always, I knew everyone. They were my neighbors, they were my peers. I grew up with some of them, like in Germany. I lived there for a bit, so 3rd grade to 6th grade, I grew up with them. Then we went to a public school here. I was like, whoa, these people are a lot different than my peers. It took so long to make friends because they just thought we were like these aliens. Where did we come from? They've never
Yeah,
met us.
that can be hard.
So that was definitely that was a challenge, but you overcome it.
Yeah.
Like between military kids, I think military kids are really like accepting so much more than people at school because I feel like they're used to growing up with the people they grew up with and they try.
Yeah.
Like can't lie and say they don't, but they do.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not the same like with how military teens do it versus the people that do it that's been living in one place because they all have their little groups. But military teens, like they know how it is. So they're better at like taking in new people. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. If you didn't say it, I was going to say it because something that I always appreciated about going to a new military base is that people see that you're new, and rather than, leaving you on the outside, like, hey, we all have our shared history, we don't know who you are. They say, hey, it doesn't matter where you're from or what your history is. Like, we're going to help you get an orientation to what life is. And, maybe you don't fit in with people, but you find someplace that you do. And that's something that I really appreciate about my upbringing is that people were very accepting and welcoming. So is there anything else that you guys were thinking about, like what it's like being a military brat? And we're filming this and releasing this within the month of the military child. So anything else that you wanted to say about what it's like being a military child that we haven't already touched on?
It's just so great. I love it. I mean, I've gotten to see so much. I mean, I know so many people here who would never get to go to France or Paris or never get to go to Berlin or maybe Malta or like places like that. It's just so cool. Like I had this opportunity and I took it, you know. Of
Yeah.
course I took it. I didn't have a choice, but like, you know,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it and I learned so much from it. I got to see things in person most of my peers would see on Google Docs or photos, you know. It's just so cool. And like instances like this, like I met them right after I moved. I think they came a year after. It was so cool. It's just, I think being a military brat is the best thing ever. I really enjoy my place here.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, interesting to see, like, since we're so used to this life, we've never known anything outside of it. So I guess it's kind of hard to relate to someone always living in one place.
Yeah.
So I think, like, this life is just perfect, at least for me.
Yeah.
For myself.
For me too. Yeah. You get to see a lot of places, just like she said. Um, yeah, you don't really want to like leave it. Like you don't want your parents to retire after you do it for a while.
Just
but
a
then-
few more years. Come on, Dad.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to say, and like I've had more time to reflect on this. You made the decision as the service member. I made the decision as a service member now to volunteer my time to move around. Your kids didn't make that decision. So when they say that they're feeling scared or they're feeling sad, accept their feelings is like, yeah, that's true. Don't try to say me like, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. They're uprooting their lives all these years, so be a little bit more understanding, compassionate, because it is pretty hard. But clearly, we're all gonna be okay. So, just be a little bit more compassionate on the way there, and we'll probably end up like all these great kids right here. So, hey, I want to thank you for donating your time. Obviously, you're busy with school and stuff, but yeah, this is great that you were willing to do this. And any other things that you want to say to military kids out there?
I mean, don't forget your dandelion.
Oh yeah, for Month of the Military Child, don't forget the dandelions.
Bloom where they grow.
Bloom.
They
bloom where they
Land.
grow where they land.
Yeah.
Where they bloom.
It's a word.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much for being here, and we will catch you in the next one.